God wants to position you, brothers and sisters. And he's given us people in this body that have insight and knowledge that's working for them. And it will work for you if you will apply it. So as Che Willis comes, let's give him a big praise God as he comes today.
What's up, y'all? How's everybody doing? Let me set up real quick. And before I get started, I'm going to go ahead and pray, just in case Abby's watching somewhere. Father God, we just thank you for your grace. We thank you for your mercy. We thank you for the ability and the courage to stand in front of your people, to give a message that will hopefully change lives and hearts and families that are not even here yet. We just ask you that you give us ears to hear, open minds and hearts to receive, and put plans of action in place, because we're not just hearers, we're doers. In Jesus' name, amen. So I'm gonna tell y'all, man, every time I get an opportunity to speak, it's amazing, because just thinking back again to when I was a kid, I had some different challenges as a kid, and confidence was taken away just by people making fun or talking or whatever the case may be. And to be able to stand here is amazing. Like, if you would have caught me a couple years ago, Pastor asked me to do something. Nah, I'm good, fam. I'm good. I remember one time Milton called me. This was maybe 6-7 years ago. He called me up. I was driving. He called me up and said, "Hey, we want you to speak for 15 minutes at a men's get-together we were having." And I was ready to tell him no. But then he quickly told me he was playing. He was joking. So my heart was pounded out of my chest. But look at me standing up here. God is so good, man. God is awesome. So if you were here last week, I'm going to focus over here, because I know I watched the playback and I was over here the whole time. So I'm going to focus more over here on y'all. We talk nice to ourselves, right? And we're going to go ahead and get started with the affirmation that we did last week. So if you were not here last week, turn to your neighbor, please. And repeat after me. I will be a millionaire someday soon. I heard that, multimillionaire. I heard that. I like that. I heard that. My man, I heard that. Yes, sir. Investing is one of the tools I can use to help me get there. I thank God he gives me the power to make wise decisions with my income. And when I become a millionaire, I will help others with the information I have. Yo, if that don't make y'all smile, man, I don't know what will, man. Let's get it. Let's go. So what we're doing is we're going to do some recap, just to kind of set y'all up for what's going to happen tonight. We're going to do a little bit of recap. I'm going to add a little bit of some new stuff in there. And then we're going to watch a video, because we talked about how, but we're actually going to talk about now implementing the plan on how to get where you want to go, especially for those who are not going to be able to attend DNA because we sold out. Let's go. Yes. So what we're doing is we are breaking generational patterns by handling our money better. And what I mean by that is we're lowering our expenses, setting up emergency funds, and then we're investing what's left over, right? We talked about last week, adversity comes with the seed of an equivalent benefit, right? So everything that you go through, if your perspective is right, you're going to understand that there's a lesson to learn within what you're going through, right? So we have to remember that. And we talked about Proverbs: get wisdom, get understanding. What got me thinking of how subtle the enemy is. If you have never studied how the enemy works and things of that nature, he starts up here inside your head. So if he can get inside your head and get you to believe that you can't, or it's okay, it's good for them, not for me, then you're done. So we got to get our confidence right, and we have to understand too, when we're on our financial journey that fixing our financial problem isn't about making more money. It's about changing the behaviors to get to that got you in the situation that you're in now, right? And it happened to me, and I'm gonna talk about it in a little bit, but the enemy will have you believe that since you're in a bad financial situation or there's areas of opportunity for you, that I need to make more money, so I need another job. But what does that do? It pulls you out of the house, and if you have kids, then they're missing a parent because you feel like because your money's all over the place, you don't have control over your money, then you think I need another job, I need to get money, instead of thinking to yourself, maybe if I control what God already gave me, then I can get along with what I already have. And then you don't have to be out of the house making, doing another job that's only paying you pennies of what your time is actually worth, right? So we really gotta think about that before we go out and get another job. Think to yourself, can I do what I need to do with what God already gave me? That's huge. Also, we talked about wisdom again. Wisdom is the ability to use knowledge, experience, understanding, and insight to make sound judgments and decisions. And again, we talk about the enemy, and I talked about when I was a child. And think about this. I was thinking about this a couple days ago, so hopefully I can articulate it the right way. So think about when you were a kid. If one of your friends, and you don't have to admit it, I'll just say I did it sometimes. If one of your friends came in with a messed up haircut, or bummy clothes, or holes in their sneakers, or something like that, when you were a kid, what would you do? You tease them. You make fun of them. So when you start making money, you tend to think, well, I'm going to buy the clothes that I could never afford back then. But what happens is but sometimes you tend not to get off that hamster wheel of thinking to yourself, well, I got to buy the nicest thing so these people will never make fun of me again. And it may not be like at the top of your mind, but subconsciously it's in there, right? So it's more beneficial if that's you, if I'm talking about you, because it happened to me, it's more beneficial for you to save for the future, because at the end of the day, you're an adult now. Nobody really cares what you have on. Like, they may say, hey, that's a nice whatever, but at the end of the day, it's not affecting them one way or the other what you have on, right? So what happened with me, when I talked about taking care of the little you a couple weeks ago, when my son was born, or I found out we were having a son, Gucci diaper bag, Gucci onesies, Gucci shirts, Gucci sweatsuit. Fam, he's not even 1 year old. Like, he's not even adult. Like, what are we doing? What are we really doing here? But the thing is I was thinking about the little me who couldn't afford certain things, and I had to go out and go get it to buy like Tommy Hilfiger and Nautica and all the things that were in back when I was younger. But the thing about it is I had to realize that it made more sense for me and him long term for me to be able to take care of him. So instead of spending the money on the Gucci and whatever the high-end things I was buying for him and my wife was buying for him, why not invest that money? Because I understand what student loans look like. So if he doesn't have to pay student loans when he gets in school and it's already taken care of, how much better is that going to be for him long term that he gets a good start when he gets out of school? So we gotta tweak our thinking of buying high end and now like looking to the future and how we're going to take care of our loved ones. We talked about desire. It starts up here. So again, if we get our thinking right, then, and we understand that what we want starts up here first. Again, we talked about pastor in this building. It was up here first. Now, he went to the architects and engineers and all that stuff, but it was up here first. He had the idea, he brought it to the congregation, we got behind, and then we erected the building or whatever the case may be. So everything starts up here. Don't focus on what you don't know. The thing that we're going to see tonight later on, you'll have an idea in your head that I don't know how to do that. That seems foreign to me. How am I going to start the journey? Just start the journey. Do not think that it's going to be this whole big poof and it's done. No, it's a journey. It takes steps. So just understand that and focus on your why. Everybody's why is going to be different. You might want to live a comfortable life. You might want to retire early. You might want to play golf. That's me. You might want to play golf, every other day, whatever. But whatever your why is for doing or getting in a better financial situation, then lock onto that and keep the end in mind. All right? Understand that the wealthy people save and invest. They save and invest. What we're doing also is we're flipping the way we thought about budgeting before. The way we thought about budgeting before was we have our income, we have our expenses, whatever's left over, we're just going to spend it. Now, we have our income, we have our expenses, and then we're paying down debt so we can have less expenses and more money. So, how many of you guys love your job? That's not the whole room. So think about this, and this came to me like a year ago. If I lower my expenses and understand where my money's going, if I ended up wanting to leave this job for a less stressful job, I can do that because I don't have to make as much money because my expenses are a lot lower. And then if you add in investments that's going to make you more money, then you really don't have to work as hard. So again, it's about wisdom, it's about experiences, and these are the things that came up to me as I'm going through this journey of helping people with their budgets. Man, this one's gonna be good. We're gonna talk about the power of obedience. The power of obedience. Does anybody know the key? Pastor, don't say nothing. Does anybody know the key to getting a miracle? Anybody? Okay, I'll tell you. Thank you. All right. So remember the wedding at Canaan. So I'm gonna just give you the Che Willis version of it. Jesus' mom came to him because somebody came to her saying, "Hey, we're out of wine." They was out there partying, right? So Jesus' mom came to him, "Hey, we're out of wine." He's like, "Well, what does that have to do with me?" So then she tells the servants, "Whatever he says to you, do it," right? So although the instructions that he gave them didn't look like it was going to yield the result that they were looking for wine, he tells them to go fill the pots up with water. But they had a decision to make. Am I going to listen to what he says? Or am I going to just not believe whatever she told me to listen to him? So long story short, they go down, they fill the pots up with water. I don't know exactly how long it took. They didn't have cars back then. I don't know how far the lake or the river was. They bought this stuff back. And he said to pour a cup and then take it to the gentleman. He took it to the guy. He drank it. He said, "Yo, why did you save the best wine for the end of the party?" So again, whatever he says to you, do it. That is the key to getting a miracle. Now, you may say, "Well, why are you telling me this, Che?" Because Keith Moore is somebody that pastor goes to at least twice a year to go see. I listen to Keith Moore, his sermons, CDs, along with pastor as well. In his story, God told Keith Moore, if you want the good partners, if you want the best partners, you got to be a good partner, right? So what he said is give the information out for free. Give the CDs out for free. So he did it. Whatever he says to you, do it. He did it. And what did I tell you 2 weeks ago? Anytime God told somebody to do something, somebody else benefited as a result of their obedience. Now, when they got out of the will, bad things happened. So, pastor goes to Keith Moore's conferences. Pastor understands that the exposure is what led his faith to be as big as his faith is. Then, knowing that exposure leads to greater faith, then pastor brings Minister Jason Small and some others down to the conference to increase their faith. I happen to be over Sugar and Jason's house many years ago. Jason's like, yo, we just came back from this conference. Yo, listen, you got to listen to this stuff. And that was around the time that pastor had recommended, hey, Automobile University, why don't you turn the radio off, turn the music off, and listen to things that are going to fill you up. Now, I had a decision to make. I could have said, nah, I'm cool. I'm gonna go ahead and, dance a little bit when I'm in the car. I don't want to listen to those sermons. But I understood that the way to get a miracle is whatever he says to you to do it. So I did it. Right around that time, I received the CDs, and that changed my life forever. So I understood at that point that I had to be a doer of the word and not a hearer only. So the things that I heard on Sundays when I was listening in the car, and that's why I said 2 weeks ago when I was here, that just being here and listening to the sermons, it's not enough on Sundays and Wednesdays. Like, you got stuff coming at you every day, hours at a time. Like, things are just constantly, just trying to get in your mind and trying to get you to doubt and fear that you have to listen more often, in my humble opinion. But that's what I did. So faith is an action, and we understand that faith without works is dead, right? And if God could turn my life around because of two men's obedience, Pastor and Keith Moore, what do you think he can do if you guys implement and execute what you are learning today? How many families, how many generations can you guys affect if you listen to the plan, you believe, you execute, and get it done? And how many other people can you affect by doing that? So think about that. That's a big deal. I also believe that a lot of Christians have the illusion that God is just going to drop millions of dollars on you. Here you go. You get $1 million. You get $1 million. No, it doesn't work like that. Yo, I'm just telling you, it doesn't work like that. So we have to execute on what we're learning here. Now, he did rain manna from the sky. We understand that, right? But in order to get the things that you want to get, you have to act. The woman with the issue of blood, he just talked about it. How did she get her healing? Anybody, just yell it at me. She went and she touched. She went. She fought through the crowd, got under, and then touched his garment because she believed that that's how she was going to get it, and she acted. So we gotta go. We gotta go. So a few people that I want to mention. We did DNA. I'm going to say maybe 6 months ago, and I want to give a shout out to two people or two families. Chris and his wife Abby. I just want to give them a shout out because they paid off a car. That's huge. They executed, and then the Brantley family who goes here. I don't know if they're in here today, so if you are, shout out to you. They paid off $18,000 in credit card debt. So it takes a plan to get to your desired result, and we got to act. We got to go. All right. So we're going to talk about budgeting, just real quick, just brief things that we're going to talk about. Emergency fund is going to be huge for you guys, which we're going to talk about in the video. And the process is new, so we got to give ourselves grace. We understand that it's new. We got to give ourselves grace. So just keep that in mind. Don't be too hard on yourself and think to yourself, I can't do it. We have many different resources. We have the DNA class. You have myself. You have Elder Milton Reeves, who can help you as well if you need. But we just need to focus on progress over perfection. All right. Again, I talked about it 2 weeks ago, how bad it was for my wife and I when we started our journey. But again, the enemy wanted to divide us and get us off of what God had for us. But we stuck it out. We fought through. And now we're on the other side. Paid for a house. We got a pool in our backyard. Thank you. College, my son's college fund is fully funded before he's even getting to high school. It's done. So, thank you. But think about what that's going to feel like for you. It's cool for us. Yeah, absolutely. But think about that for you. It's not just for us. We believe, we plan, we execute it. And that's what it's going to take for you to get to where you want to be. So right now, we have good time. So we're going to watch like a 26-minute video of how to set up a budget. And then afterwards, if anybody has any questions or anything like that, I think we'll have enough time for a little bit of Q&A. So, Sham. What's going on, family? So this is your first step of getting to where you want to be financially. What we're going to do today is we're going to go over a brief demonstration. I'm going to try to be as brief as possible with getting this budget done. The way that my wife and I, we got out of debt is we budgeted. Budgeting is not sexy. I understand that. However, if done the right way, it can yield some pretty sexy results. So we are going to go ahead and get into it. This is the Every Dollar app by Dave Ramsey. He has had this app out for years and years. It is free. So you can go to everydollar.com and then make sure that you download the free version. If you are a person that likes to write down things and have everything on paper, I do have a free budget tool on my website at wealthisajourney.com. So you can go and download that free budget tool if you like to write things down on paper. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I believe that before you get started with your budget, you have to know your numbers. So if you don't know your numbers, just please make sure that you go back and go through your bank statements and look at where you're spending money at. Because in order for you to be where you want to be financially, you have to know where your money's going. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the paychecks first. So if you are married, I'm going to put these numbers in so you know exactly what you need to do as you're doing this. So we're going to go ahead and let's just say you make $3,500 a month and your spouse, let's just say they make $5,000 a month. And this is net, your net. Okay. So church, we are tithers and offering givers. So let's just say you're going to give $1,000. Okay. We're going to assume that you do not save any money for vacations. One of the things that my wife and I do every month is we're in a position that we are able to save for vacations. If you do have debt, I would tell you probably not to save for vacations at this point in time, or maybe not save for an elaborate vacation. Maybe if you want to do like a staycation or go somewhere for a day or two, go ahead and do that. But the goal is to be somewhere financially that you are not currently. The only way to do that is to sacrifice some things only for a time. All right, so hopefully that makes sense. Emergency fund is going to be huge. A lot of people do not have emergency funds, and we're going to go through why emergency fund is important is because it's going to take your reliance off a credit card. So if you do not have an emergency fund, rule of thumb, if you have debt and you do not have an emergency fund, you want to at least put away $1,000 for a starter emergency fund. So we're going to assume that you do not have an emergency fund. So let's put away some money for an emergency fund for the month. This is all going to be monthly things. Okay, we don't have kids savings, so we're going to leave that alone for now. Your mortgage. Let's just say your mortgage is $1,800. HOAs. You don't have HOAs. Electricity for the month. Let's just say it's $250. Cable. $150. It is October, so I'm assuming that you're not getting any grass cutting done. Alarm system. Let's just say it's $50 a month. Water bill, another $50. So hopefully you see the common theme here is that we are tracking everything that we spend on a monthly basis. This is gas for our house, $200. Trash bill, say $25. Home shield, I'll leave that blank for now. As you can see, every expense that we put in, this left to budget number is going to continue to dwindle down, which is the reason why I enjoy using this app, because it tells us exactly where we are as we're putting expenses in. And then you can see exactly what you have left over when you get down to the debt portion. This is gas for your cars. I know we like to ride around a lot, so $500, we'll put that in there. Maintenance for your cars. This is going to be a game changer here, because if you do not have money set aside for your vehicle, if you have say a blown tire, or your vehicle needs an oil change or something of that nature, maybe this is an area of opportunity for you to put away maybe $25 a month or so into a savings account for your car, just in case something happens to your car. You can just pull that money out, take care of it, and you do not have to rely on credit cards getting you further into trouble. Okay, so we'll put $25 away for that. Tolls, do another $25. Car wash, we'll leave that alone for now, but just know that you have a line item for car washes if you want to get your cars washed. Now, here is the two biggest things that kind of get us in trouble: groceries and restaurants. I know in my household, we do spend a decent amount on groceries. So if you have a large family, maybe you might spend $1,000, maybe you might spend $1,500. I don't know, but we'll just go in the middle and just say $1,200. A lot of people go out to restaurants. They do DoorDash, Uber Eats, like to go to nice fancy restaurants sometimes. So let's just go ahead and put $400. I've seen worse. So that is not really that high. Clothes. If you want to buy clothes for work, let's just say $250. Phone bill, $200. Spending money. For the two of you, let's say $800. So that gives you $400 a piece. Now, if you want to break it out and say, like my wife and I, we do Chase spending money. I do Tanera spending money. We break it out, and let's just say we do $400 each. Hair and cosmetics. I know this is a big deal for ladies, and sometimes men. So let's just say we do $300 for the month. If it's higher than that, then that's fine. But you get the example here. Subscriptions is another thing that pulls away from our wealth. We have a lot of different subscriptions that we pay for on a monthly basis, and we don't necessarily use it. Some people have multiple gym memberships. They have Tidal, they have Apple Music, they have Spotify, they have Amazon Music as well. All of those streaming platforms play the same music. So if you do have multiple streaming platforms, maybe that might be an area of opportunity for you to take some of those subscriptions away. So let's just say $50 for subscriptions. Exterminator, we'll leave that out for now. Car Shield, we'll leave that out for now as well. Pet care, some people have pets. So let's just say $50 for dog or cat food. Child care is another big expense for some people. And as you can see, we only have $925 left to budget. And we haven't even gotten to the real stuff yet. So let's just say we don't have any kids. Date night, we'll leave that empty as well. But that's another thing that my wife and we do is we budget for date nights. So it gives us time to spend time together because, life gets busy and it forces us to spend time together. We go to dinner, we go to movies, we go get massages, different things of that nature. And we put money aside for that. But if you are not in the position to do that based on where you're trying to go, I would just say that maybe that might not be what you want to do. Maybe it might be a stay-at-home thing. Maybe you might want to play a game or watch a movie at home, something of that nature. So you can still spend that time together and not spend a bunch of money because we have somewhere to go. All right, so gym memberships, which could be included in the subscription, so we'll leave that blank. Vitamins and medicines, let's just say we spend $20 a month on that. If you do have a corporate job, there is something called a flexible spending account. They give you, I think, anywhere from $200 to $2,500 a year during your open enrollment. So if you find that you're spending a lot of money on medicines and doctor's visits and things of that nature, I would maybe calculate how much you're spending on an annual basis and then put that money aside for yourself in your flexible spending account, because that's pre-tax dollars that you could be saving yourself money on. And whatever money you put aside, you probably won't miss it in your check because it's pre-tax dollars. So that is a hopefully something that's beneficial to you. Doctor's visits, if you don't have any planned doctor's visits for the month, if you do not have a flexible spending account, just know that there's a line item for that. So if you do know in the following month if you know that month that you need to go to the doctors and you know that there's a copay, then you can allot for that money as well. Child sports, let's just say you don't have any children at this point in time. They're all done. If you do have a corporate job, then this should be taken care of in your benefits. Life insurance should be taken care of in your benefits as well. However, I know that some people do have additional life insurance. Sometimes I talk to people when I do budgets with them and they have life insurance and they don't know what the life insurance covers. So I'm talking about life insurance aside from their current job. So if you do have a life insurance policy, some people were sold life insurance policies and they sounded good at the time and they don't know exactly what they're paying for at this point. So I would encourage you, if you do have an additional life insurance policy, that you would check into it to understand what exactly you're paying for at the very least. And if you don't feel like you need it anymore, then maybe that's something that you can get rid of. I'm not telling you to get rid of it, but I'm just saying look into it so you know exactly what the benefits are of having this life insurance policy. All right. So next we have auto insurance. Auto insurance is a big one as well. Let's just say that's $450. Your homeowner's insurance or renter's insurance, we'll leave that blank because homeowner insurance, if you do own a home, should be covered in your mortgage. Identity theft, we'll leave that blank as well. Now, here's the good stuff. All right, so let's just say you have a Lexus and you have a car note. And your current balance on this Lexus is, let's just say it's $10,000. Your minimum payments are $500. Now, we are now in the negative. And we haven't even put the credit cards and or student loans in here. So let's just say student loan. Got a student loan. Let's just say the student loan, you've been paying that down and you only got $5,000 left. Minimum payment is $50. Next, we have a credit card. Let's just say Amex. You got American Express. Did I go past? I sure did. There we go. So you have an American Express. And on that American Express, you have $500. And your minimum payment is $30. Now, I understand that people have more debt than this. And there's good news, bad news. The good news is that you are over your budget by $125, right? The bad news is that you're over your budget $125. But the good news is I've seen worse, right? And I've seen people over, when I do budgets with them, they're over by $1,000 or more dollars. Now, what I would do if I were you is I would go back to the top to see what areas of opportunity we have to cut and shave. All right. So let's go back to the top. We got church. We're not shaving there. The emergency fund is going to be huge for us. So we're not shaving there. Let's just say we're just starting this month with the $250 per month until we get to the $1,000. So that's going to take us 4 total months to save that $1,000, right? The electricity is an area of opportunity. And I'm going to be brief with this explanation. But if you have, let's just say you and your spouse in a house. And a lot of times we leave rooms and we leave lights on, or we leave the TV on, and we're gone for hours at a time, and we forget to turn the TV off. And then we have a electric bill that's $250. Now, if we practice the discipline that we, talked about in the last session, then we need to turn the lights off. We need to turn the TVs off, especially if we're leaving out of the room for hours at a time, because nobody's in there watching the TV. Nobody's in there using those lights. So turn them off. If you have kids, practice this with them as well. Hey, when you leave a room, turn the light off. This is going to help you lower your electric bill, so therefore you can have more money to put down on your debt, so then you can have more money to invest later. All right. Do you need all of the things that come with cable? Here's another area of opportunity. So let's just say we get this lowered to $225. That gives you another $25 back to your budget. All right. Can we cut the cable a little bit? Do you need all of the, I don't know, I have Hulu. Do we need all of the channels for Hulu? I don't know, but these are areas of opportunity that you can cut and shave to get to your desired result. Let's just say, let's go down a little bit more and we'll check gas. So we go to work, we go out, we have a good time. Now, because you're trying to go somewhere, can you shave this gas off maybe $25 per car? If we're able to do that, that's going to give us another $50 back to the budget, right? Groceries, restaurants is huge. Let's just say we keep the groceries where they are and we quit going to restaurants just for a few months. Boom. Now we're in the black. Now we are cooking. All right. So manicures, pedicures, and hair. Let's just say we get our hair done, ladies, once a month. I don't know. But we don't go to get our manicures done just for a time. And let's just say we shave $100 off of this number. and now it's back down to 200. That gives us another $100 back to our budget, back to our bottom line. If we shave some of these subscriptions down, now we're feeling a little bit more hopeful, right? So if you look here, now we have $475 left back to our budget. Now we can knock this American Express off for the month. Let's just say we pay it off. Boom, it's gone. So for this month now, it's gone. So the following month, what we're going to do, if everything stays the same, and the beautiful part about this budgeting app is that everything that we have for this month will then transfer over into November. So if we go back down, we can now put the extra $500 onto the student loans because that's your next smallest debt. And then we're just going to snowball these debts into each other until they're paid off. So that's the beautiful part about using this app is that you guys, if you're married, you're working together to try to find ways to get your debts down. Once you pay one debt off, celebrate. It's a small win to get to the larger goal. We have to celebrate our win. So if we pay a credit card off, post it on social media. You don't know who it may help. It may help somebody. Tell your friends and family what you're doing. It's going to help them. It's going to help you. It's going to keep you accountable. And it may be inspiring to somebody else that, hey, they did this thing that I'm trying to do as well. Let's all pay our stuff off. And then you're building a community for yourselves of accountability. So you're knocking that credit card off. Boom, it's gone. So the following month, sorry about that. Now you got $555 to put down on the student loan, and the student loan should be paid off within a few months. And then the next thing, once you're done with that, then you roll that into this Lexus. So once everything's done in here, it'll take you about, let's just say it'll take you a year and a half. If nothing changes with your jobs, if you don't have a side hustle, anything of that nature, you paying down all of these debts is going to take you, let's just say, about a year and a half to knock everything off. Now, when we knock everything off, we have our emergency fund in place. So in 4 months' time, if nothing happens, you will have $1,000 emergency fund. So therefore, you will not have to continue putting away money for the emergency fund. Once you're done putting away money for your emergency fund, that money can go towards you paying off more debt. Once that's done, you get everything done. The emergency fund is taken care of. Now you have $1,300 back to your bottom line. Now you want to build a 3 to 6 months expense of your emergency funds. So this is going to, again, take your reliance off of credit cards. That's exactly what we want to do. So we get to keep all of the money that we make. Now, when all of these things are done, you got your 3 to 6 months of emergency fund. You're out of debt. Now you can start investing that money. If you have a side business that you're trying to start, if you want to pay your house down, you can do that as well. This is exactly how my wife and I paid our house off. We took the small steps of paying off all of our debts, our consumer debts, excuse me, and then we started attacking the house. And then we got bonuses on our jobs. And then we got some stocks at our jobs and different things of that nature that allowed us to complete the goal faster. So this is exactly how we did what we did. We use this app. Another little thing about using this app is once you get paid, let's just say you get paid $1,700, $1,750. You track the expense. Sorry about that. You track the expense. So then you know if you only have another $1,750 to receive to get to what you plan for in your paycheck. Once you pay your tithes at church, just to say you pay $200 for your tithes. Boom. Now you know that you have $800 left for the month to pay towards the $1,000 for your tithes, so forth and so on. So once you pay your mortgage for the month, it's done. Now you know that you paid your mortgage. You don't have to think about it anymore. But also, while doing this, you want to make sure that you're checking your checking account before you spend the money, just to make sure that it's there. Because some people may say, well, hey, I did my budget. My budget's complete. But before you spend the money, just make sure that your checking account is lining up with what you're saying you're receiving from your job, to make sure that you don't have any overdrafts or anything like that. Because again, overdrafts, that's another form of thievery. All right. So what we're trying to do, we're doing all this so we get to keep as much money as we make. And so that way we can make that money make us more money. So hopefully this exercise makes sense. All we're trying to do is give every dollar a name, telling our money exactly where to go, having it planned before the month starts. So the budget should be done before the month starts. So when you start getting paid, let's just say in November, you know exactly where that money is going to go. Now, if something comes up and, something that wasn't planned comes up, now you have options to take from different categories. Let's just say you have an emergency comes up and you got, you need $200. You can take from this gas money. You can take from maybe maintenance from your car. You might be able to take from clothes. Yeah, hey, well, maybe I can buy clothes next month. So you do have options, but we need to see exactly what we're spending first, or what we plan to spend first, before we know what we can take from. What's a necessity and what's not. So hopefully this exercise makes sense. If you need more information, or you would like, to go deeper in detail with your specific budget, you can always, contact me at wealthasajourney.com. You can book a free discovery call to see exactly how I can help you. So again, hopefully this makes sense, and hopefully this has helped somebody on their financial journey. Wasn't that easy? Yeah. So that's how we did it. Was it easy at first? No. But we got to stick to the plan, and we have to understand that we have somewhere to go. And it's not going to get easy at first, but the more momentum you build, the faster you can run, and the faster you can get to whatever goals, your financial goals, you want to get to. And then when you get good at it, you can show the kids. If you don't have any kids in your house, you can show somebody else's kids. You know what I mean? And that's, again, what I talked about before. That's exactly how we're going to break these generational patterns. You get good at it, then you show somebody else. Then they show somebody else. And then they show somebody else. And then we're going to be on fire as a body. So that's exactly how we're going to do it. So we're going to go ahead and open it up if anybody has any questions. And if not, then we can pray and yeah. Got it.
Thank you. Yeah. What's the goal for the financial fund, like the emergency fund?
It's house specific.
Okay.
So our emergency fund is going to be different than yours. It all depends on what your expenses are. So the good news is you'll have all of your expenses lined up if you use the app, or if you write it down on the budget tool that I have on my website. You'll have exactly what your expenses are, and you just calculate that, times it by 3 or times it by 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if I don't know the answer, I will let you know. Okay, I'm not going to be up here lying to y'all. All right? What's up?
If you have multiple credit cards, right?
Yeah.
You have your car note, that right there.
Yep.
Which one do you prefer to chop off first? That or just each little credit card?
I would say whatever's the smallest one. Whatever your smallest debt is, you're going to pay that first. Reason being is because you're trying to build momentum. Once you pay that off, you feel good. Then you can roll that into the next credit card. Then you pay that one off. Then you feel even better. And then you could just snowball that into the next one, into the next one. And then if your car note is higher, then you can attack that with more because you'll have more money to attack it. So, yes.
Can I ask about investments? If you on target with your budget and out of debt, what do you tack on? How do you go about doing investments?
That's a very good question. And it's go ahead.
A lot of people say do real estate, but like in the back, I'm like,
Real estate is amazing. I think I said it last time I was here. If you have to have a stomach for real estate. I'm not going to sit up here and say it's great all the time. You do get those phone calls in the middle of the night sometimes, or if you're on vacation. But if you're in real estate, you have to have a team, and I'm not going to go too deep into it, but it all depends on what type of investor you are. So it's person specific at that point. If you have the stomach for it, I would say go for it. But with that, if you have a mortgage on that house, all rules still apply. Pay it down as fast as possible because then you get to keep all the money that you make. Somebody might want to invest in the stock market. Invest in the stock market, just like anything, has considerable risk. So you want to do your research. If you do not feel good about it, then you do have financial advisors out there. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. However, find somebody and interview them. If you don't feel good about what they're telling you, walk away. There's plenty others out there. If your friend has a business, my sister, she just opened up a restaurant. Shout out to you. If you want to invest in that, just make sure that everything is airtight as far as the paperwork. Hey, what is going to be my return? You are investing for a return. You're not trying to, it's not a charity case. No, we're trying to invest for a return. So if it doesn't sound good or if it doesn't feel good, if God is telling you do not do it, whatever he says to you, do it. Or in this case, don't. Okay? So hopefully that answered your question. Yeah. What's up?
How do you deal with the people, friends, family that like to spend a lot of money and you're on your budget?
Yes. Yes. That's a great question. That's a great question. Walk away. Walk away. I had to, I think I talked about this last time I was up here. A lot of my friends were doing things that didn't work for my situation. So I could either continue on doing what they're doing and we know where that road leads, or I could walk away for a time until God provided me with the friends that I needed that was conducive to my situation. So hopefully that answers your question. You got to walk away, bro. Yeah. Got it. He got you. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
But you said you and your wife at first were in, so what if you
Sorry about that.
are not on the same
Yes.
track, like he's not believing the same way you're believing about the money. How do you handle that?
That's a very good question. And I really don't know how to answer that completely without talking to you guys, but you guys got married for a reason. Like you loved each other at one point, and if your desire is to go somewhere financially, then hopefully the spouse will understand that it makes, hopefully, I'm not saying that that's the case, but hopefully the spouse will understand that it makes sense for our family to go this way. Now, when you're doing a budget, they can get a line item for whatever you guys agree for their spending money without tanking your guys' budget. So if you have debt and things like that, your spending money may not be $1,000. You know, maybe it's $350 or whatever the case may be, but it's only for a time. So there has to be a mindset shift in order for it to work, and it probably won't work until that happens, because you can't steer a parked car. You know what I'm saying? So, yes.
If you don't have any like debt, like where do you put the rest of your money?
I like that. That's good. That's good. If you don't have debt, then are you a teenager?
I'm in college.
You're in college. Okay, cool. So what I would say is you can save for some type of emergency fund. And for you being in college is amazing, because the sooner you start it, if you start it now, when you start making a lot of money, then you're already going to have a plan in place for your money to go. And that's why I tell a lot of people that I work with, it's good that you're not making, it's good that you're in your financial situation now, so when you do get a lot of money, you're going to know exactly what to do with it. There's nothing worse than you not to know what you're doing financially and then to get a ton of money. Ask an NFL player, ask a basketball player, or an entertainer, or a family member who might have got an inheritance. If you don't know what to do with the money and you get a lot of it, park it. Don't do anything until you understand what you're doing. But it's, to answer your question, it is very good. I would start an emergency fund, and if you don't know how to invest, you can open up a brokerage account, or you can talk to a financial advisor, and at least if you're not going to put the money in the market to make it start working, you can at least put it to the side, so when you're comfortable, you can deploy the funds to start working for you. Hello.
Hi, I'm pretty good at budgeting.
I love it. Don't do that. Don't do my man like that. Don't do that.
I don't
Okay.
even like to take him to the supermarket because I am a planner. I like to look in the cabinets in the refrigerator and write down what we need.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a saver and I'm a budgeter.
Okay.
So we have a credit card that we share, and my husband calls me the Nazi because I look at it every day, and I say to him, "Did you really need to buy gas twice this week at Costco?
Yeah.
And you were at a quarter tank." So my question is, we use our credit card. I use it for points.
Sure.
But at the end of the month, I pay it off.
Okay.
Zero.
Sure.
Is that okay that I do that?
It's house specific.
And I use it for like everyday life, like groceries, for gas.
Yeah. It's good for you because you're disciplined, but everybody's not disciplined. We all have. Go ahead.
So is it okay if I take his credit card back?
I would. That's no.
No.
No. I'm not doing that. Oh man, I got you. I'm not doing that. No, it's not. Next question. What's up, bro?
How do you go about budgeting if the amount of income you receive is different each paycheck?
So good. That's a very good question. What I would do is take the average of, let's just say 3 months or 6 months, take the average of it, and I would take maybe a couple $100 less than that. So when you do get more, then you can have an area to throw it in. So if you're putting it in debt, if you're out of debt, you can put it in an emergency fund. If you have all your emergency fund, then you can start investing in business or whatever the case may be. Does that make sense? Yeah. Yep.
Good evening.
Hello.
Hi. First and foremost, thank you.
Mhm.
Last week, I told my friend, I was like, girl, I feel like I left a marriage boot camp and I'm single. Like, I did everything that you're saying is great, but I'm not there yet. But you spoke about shifting your mindset, so it's coming. So
Good.
I'm preparing the budget.
Love it.
But also as a business owner, it's kind of along the lines of what man said. How do you do the same type of budget, especially when you don't know what's coming in this month, or how does your budget differ for your business?
Very good question. So for any business owner, I would tell you, if you're not good at budgeting, it's going to be very hard to scale your business because your money's going everywhere at home. You get money from your business. Your money's going everywhere there. What I would tell you, or any business owner, is that at the very least, if your money fluctuates in the business, at the very least, you got to know where your floor is. So if your expenses are $3,000 a month, you got to make at least $3,000 a month, or you're going to be in a hole. Or maybe you can cut and shave some things that maybe are not a necessity for your business that you may feel like you need, but maybe you really don't. So that's the short answer of that. So hopefully that helped. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you, man. My man getting the steps in the day.
Do you recommend the 50-30-20 method for like?
Tell me what that is, please, or tell the audience what that is.
So the 50-30-20, 50% is your needs, 30% is your wants, and 20% is your savings.
Very good question. I prefer what you just saw on that screen and just break everything down because, like, you have to know, like, you have to know where all your money's going at the end of the day. So I don't want to get into the weeds of that. I know that this works. So if it doesn't line up with what you're saying, if what you're saying works, keep doing it. But I know that this works, and this is what I'm teaching. So hopefully that makes sense. Sorry. Anybody else? We got one back here. Thank you, baby. Give it up for my wife, please.
Are you new?
Go ahead.
Oh, wait, like I don't hold it?
I'm sorry. No, not here.
Oh, okay. All right. My question is, what money do you invest in? The money that you have to spend, or the money that's left to budget at the top of the website?
Both. Once you get in that position, you can do both. So okay. So let's just say you have debt, and let's just say you have your own spending money.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to put your spending money in the stock market or in an investment vehicle, go ahead. You can do that, but you'll have more money paying off debt. So once you pay off all of your credit cards, your car payments, your student loans, and all that stuff, and if you're married, I don't know if you're married or not, but if you are married and you and your spouse decide to invest some of that money, you can. My wife and I, once we paid the house off, we had more money, obviously, so we made a line item to invest. So you can definitely do that.
All right, I got one more question.
Yeah.
When you invested, like when y'all, paid off everything, did you invest in any ETFs or anything?
Yes.
Okay.
I did. Yes. Anybody who does not know, it's an ETF is an exchange traded fund. It's basically like a mutual fund, but it has less fees to run it, because a mutual fund, not to get into the weeds, but a mutual fund is managed by a fund manager, and an ETF is just managed. It's not like actively managed, so they're not trading stocks in and out. So yes, to answer your question, yes, we did.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm not telling you which ones. Oh, here we go. All right, we got trouble. We always got one in the crowd, right? There's always one.
I'm gonna be good.
Okay.
So would you say ETF is better than a Roth IRA?
No, I'm not going to say that.
Because what I
Go
understand
ahead.
with the Roth, and I'm trying to get my children
Yep.
to do one this year. They have a deadline coming up because we talked about it as a family.
Mm-hmm.
What I understand with the Roth is that you can put up to $6,000 per year, but there's no taxes when you're ready to, benefit from it.
Yeah.
So which one is better, the ETF?
I'm not going to say which one. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Cool. Thanks.
All right, yes. Okay. We are going to go ahead and wrap up. We are 10 minutes over time. I know Pastor wants to say something as well. So thank you so much. Let me pray real quick. Father God, we thank you for your grace. We thank you for your mercy. We thank you for the message coming across. And we believe that the people that needed to hear it received it well, and they will act and be doers of what they heard, so they can be in a better financial situation, so they can break the generational patterns that you would love us to break. In Jesus' name, amen.